Dead silence. Log. July 29th, 1952. We have received a distress signal and are making speed to render assistance. The distress signal had been repeating for hours, a single broken transmission endlessly looping. This is the Ravenswood. We require immediate assistance. We are adrift. Please respond. Lieutenant Michael Greaves stood on the bridge of HMS Stormlight, a Royal Navy destroyer patrolling the North Atlantic, staring at the static-filled radio. The coordinates placed the source less than 10 miles away. A ghost ship? A hoax? Or something worse? Greaves, a man who had survived the war with both his body and mind intact, or so he liked to believe, felt a deep unease curling in his gut. The message was too perfect, too lifeless. It never wavered, never changed, just the same plea over and over. Yet once, just once, the signal stuttered. "This is the Ravenswood. We require immediate..." A burst of static, a pause. "Please respond." Captain Foster made the call. "Very well. Mr. Greaves, prepare a boarding party." "Yes, sir." The Ravenswood loomed out of the fog, its hull rusted but intact, rocking gently in the swell. No sign of life, no response to their hails. Greaves and 3 others climbed aboard, weapons slung over their shoulders, boots echoing across the metal deck. The air smelled of damp metal and something else, something stale, like old breath sealed away for decades. The rhythmic creaking of the ship, the distant slosh of water against the hull, and the absence of wind made the silence unbearable. "God above," muttered O'Connor, the youngest of them, a wiry Belfast lad, always quick with a joke. Now his voice wavered. "Feels like stepping into a grave." "Less talk, more searching," growled Turner, the first mate. A thick-set man with a boxer's nose and a pragmatist's temper, he took the lead with a firm stride. "Captain wants answers." Harris, the quietest among them, simply nodded, scanning the deck. The man had spent most of the war as a submariner, and it showed. He had the patience of someone used to long silences and tight spaces. His eyes darted to every shadow. They moved cautiously. The bridge was deserted, the crew quarters empty, the galley table still set for meals long gone cold. The stale air carried the faintest trace of rot, but there were no bodies, no explanation. Greaves wiped a thick layer of dust from a console in the radio room. When they returned later, the dust was back. He checked the captain's cabin and found an old, tattered logbook resting on the desk as though waiting for him. He flipped it open. The handwriting struck him as oddly familiar. The ink was faded, but the dates stood out. March 14th, 1966. O'Connor swore he saw someone on the bridge. "We are alone. I think I'm starting to forget how long we've been here." His stomach twisted. "This isn't possible," he murmured. Then Turner checked the radio room. The distress signal was still transmitting, but the equipment looked older than it should have been, as if it had been sitting there for decades. "Something's not right here," Turner muttered. The lights flickered. A rhythmic tapping echoed through the ship, distant but deliberate. It was neither the wind nor the sea. "Did you hear that?" O'Connor whispered. Hours passed. They searched every corridor, every room, calling out, leaving chalk marks to retrace their steps. The ship was vast and strange, corridors stretching longer than they should, doors leading to places that hadn't been there before. The more they explored, the more the Ravenswood seemed to shift around them. Greaves wiped a hand over a metal panel. Dust smeared across his fingers, but he had wiped that same panel clean not an hour before. "We should leave," Turner muttered, rubbing his arms. "Whatever happened here, it's not something we can fix." Greaves nodded. "We'll document what we can, take what's useful, and get back to the Stormlight." Then the screaming began. It was Harris. They found his torch first, rolling in the corridor. Then they saw him, staring at something unseen, his mouth opening and closing like a drowning man. His hands clawed at the air, at his own chest, as though fighting off invisible hands. The air around him shimmered, bending the light as if seen through heat. Then he was gone. No sound, no motion. One moment he existed, the next he didn't. O'Connor swore and backed away. "We have to get out of here!" Turner grabbed Greaves' arm. "Did you see that? He didn't run, he didn't fall, he just went." Greaves felt his pulse hammering. "We stay together, no one leaves alone." But the ship had other plans. Together, they stumbled back into the captain's cabin. Greaves flipped through the logbook again, flipping forward. May 12th, 1983. Turner went first this time. I think it's different every time. July 27th, 1999. I left a mark on the wall. When I returned, it was gone. I think time is breaking. The ink was the same. The handwriting was identical, his own. O'Connor was dissolving, his body fading into mist. He screamed, reaching for Greaves, then was gone. Greaves and Turner ran. They reached the rail and threw themselves overboard. Greaves awoke in a hospital bed. Fluorescent lights hummed overhead. The world outside the window was impossibly bright, filled with cars and buildings he didn't recognize. A nurse entered. "You're lucky to be alive, sir. You were found drifting in a life raft." Greaves barely listened. The machinery in the room was alien. The silent cars outside, the sleek buildings. It was wrong. His head pounded. "Where's the Stormlight? My crew?" The nurse hesitated. "Sir, there is no Stormlight. The ship that found you was a commercial tanker. You were alone." Over the following weeks, they explained his situation. They told him how he had been found emaciated and unconscious, floating alone. Scientists wanted to study him. Then one day, a doctor sat down beside his bed. "We found something strange," she said. "You mentioned a man named Turner. Records show a Daniel Turner, a Royal Navy officer, was found washed up on the Spanish coast in 1986. He was alive, but could not explain where he had been." Greaves felt ice settle in his veins. Later, as he recovered, the news played in the background. Search continues for missing patrol vessel Kingfisher in the North Atlantic. Its last transmission was that it was responding to a distress call from an unidentified ship. Greaves's hands tightened. The Ravenswood was still waiting, and it would never stop. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.